Hello everyone, and here we are again in another video, and this time we are going to talk about creating a custom file format in C++ Builder. So in my previous videos I already covered how to work, for example, with ini files, XML and JSON files and Windows registry. So these are like standard approaches when saving and loading application settings and data, but as you already know, many applications have their own file formats, like for example Microsoft Word, Excel, etc. So this time we are going to develop our own custom file format and store the data inside it. In order to do that, well, I have prepared the small image here that will help us understand how we are going to develop this custom file format. In our case, we are going to store contacts from address book. Okay, so each contact in the address book has a name, surname, street, house number, etc. And so each set of data is nothing but a record. Okay, so this will be a record 1 and this will be a record 2. And but besides the records itself, or the data itself, first what I'm going to do is to store the header of my custom file format. So header is not mandatory, but it's very recommended that you have it. Why? Well, for example, from the information inside the header, you can recognize what are you dealing with. For example, if a format name is what you expect, and if the version number is what you expect. Let's say that in version 1 you are storing this set of data for a particular record, but you decided to upgrade your application to version 2.0, for example, where you store city, phone number, and I don't know, some other data as well. Then you have expanded the set of data that you save under a certain record. So it would be recommended in that case to say, okay, this is not format version 1.0, let's say it's 2.0, 2.0, because it's not the same as the previous one. So the header will help you to identify which version, for example, are you working with, and depending on the version, which data will you read or not. Okay, so like I said, this is the header segment that will identify the format name and its version, and this is the data segment where we'll store our data. So in order to create a file format, first we'll create two classes, and this class will represent the header, and the second class will represent a record inside that file. And I hope I've already prepared that example. I'm just going to show it to you. So this is the class my file format, and it contains the name and the version. So if we go to the picture here, I have the name of the format and the version of the format. So I already initialized it. Name is my file format and the version is 1.0, so no big surprises there, right? And this is the fixed part that will be placed in the beginning of the file. Okay, now we need to define a class that represents a record, meaning all this data, right? So this is the class contact. Okay, I have a name, surname, street, city, phone number, house number, etc. And this is initialized by using the constructor. Okay, and now we have declared classes for the header and for each for the record, right? How to save a record into a file. So if I click here, save to a file, I have created two contacts here. They're inside the vector. Okay, John Doe, First Street, 15 Paris, etc. Jane Doe, and so this is the data that we are dealing with. Now, how to save that into our own custom file format? So first of all, we create a header. Okay, this is the object of the my file format. If we go here, so this is the header, and he has a name which will be my file format and the version which will be 1.0. So we create a header and we create a file stream, and we write the header inside that file stream. So that's the first step. So the first step was to create a header, and write it inside the file. And now the second part is simply to go through all existing records or contacts in this case and write them one by one inside the file. So header, this is the file stream, and we wrote the header inside the file stream, and now we go through all the contacts from 0 to contact size and simply write current contact into a file, and that's it. So we wrote the header into a file, and we wrote each of the contacts into a file. And when I run the application, so I click Save to File, and which file is it? I named it contacts MFF, so it's like a my file format, but it can be whatever. So this file is now created here, and if I open it in Notepad++, as you can see, it's stored binary because we stored the data, as we can see, as stream. So this is the file stream, so nothing but a bunch of bytes here. And now the question is, okay, so this is the file, but now how to read it? It's pretty much the same as when writing to a file. It's just what we did here is creating a memory stream that loaded the data from that file, contacts, my file format. First we read the header, okay? We create an object header and we read the header from the file, okay? And this is the part that's actually useful. That's why we have that header stored in the first place. We check, okay, what is the header name that we read? Is this what I expect? Is the version of that header 1.0? Because if it's some other version, you can say, okay, you have older version of the file or wrong format or something like that. So by reading the header, you can pretty much identify the version of the file that you are dealing with, and that's why having the header file is very useful. And once I read and checked the header, then I simply read all contacts. I simply read from a file stream each contact. I save it into a temporary object and output it out to application. So let's see, open file. So this is the first contact. Let's see, here it is, and that's the second contact. Okay, so everything works. So as you can see, creating custom file format is really simple. All you need to do is to pretty much create a header. Like I said, it's not even mandatory, but it's very helpful if you have a header because you can control and check the file that you are loading, and then simply define the structure of each record inside that file. Okay, I hope you find this useful, and if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you later.